then the soil will not be having the pure rainwater, okay, and that water will not leach out the salt which is being concentrated in the root zone. So this will be the reason for salinity, or in Pakistan region, or that will be known as poor leaching of salts. And the whole phenomena is shown here, how the poor leaching of salt is the main cause of salinity in Pakistan. Then irrigation water, as we have discussed again in the previous section also, that irrigation water is important source of salt. However, in river water of Pakistan, concentration of salt is low, but it still makes significant contribution to the amount of salts in irrigated soil, especially when drainage is poor. When there is less drainage, when the drainage channel is not so effective, ultimately the small amount of the least amount of salt which is present in the river water will be a significant figure, and will lead to salinity in the soil. Inefficient and unequal application of irrigation water results in salinity again. Groundwater is significant source of salt in development of secondary salt affected soils, and other factors are flood water, inland soil, saline flats, marine deposits, salt loving vegetation, or sewage water, seawater intrusion. This is all other reasons for salinity in our region. Salt loving vegetation. The salt loving vegetation means they are the plants, the type of plants which are grown in the region where there is more salt. But the thing is that they sometimes they are called as, normally we do consider them as reclamation thing. They are reclaiming the salt affected region. They are reducing the amount of, or they are the best strategy to reduce the amount of salt from the soil. But the thing is that over here, when it is written, it means that when they are producing, when they are absorbing the soil, absorbing the salt, sorry, from the soil. So in the different parts, they are accumulating them. For example, they are accumulating in leaves, they are accumulating in and their stems, they are accumulating the salt amount because they are salt loving. So they want to absorb salt ions from the soil. So they will be accumulating. I'm explaining this point over here because over here it is written, but in different perspective. Okay. So over here, when we talk about salt loving vegetation can be the cause of salinity in some soil. It means that when they die, they will add up that amount of salt which they have accumulated in their different parts. Then they will be adding those because the organic matter will be adding up into the soil again where they are living, where they have been produced. Okay, and then in that mean they are basically affecting adversely, or they can increase the amount of salt in the soil. Okay, so when we do reclamation, when we consider reclamation of the, I think so that is also the part of this is the part of your of today's lecture, that is how we can reclaim the soil. So inshallah Ta'ala we'll be discussing later on. Over here we were on the causes of salinity. The classification of saline soils, they are classified on the basis of falling factor, the appearance of soluble salts in soil, on the percentage of soluble salts, determining electrical conductivity of saturation extract, measure of quality of soluble salts. In this, saturation extract is what? Simply you can easily understand the first 2 points, that is the appearance of soluble salt in soil and the percentage of soluble salts. Or on the basis of, we can also classify the saline soils on the basis of electrical conductivity, okay, of the saturation extract. Okay, measure of quality of the soluble salts. ESP, exchangeable sodium percentage, on that base also we can classify them, or SAP, that is sodium absorption ratio. Okay, on these main things we can also classify the saline soil. Each and everything is basically a simple topic, a separate topic. Okay, so electrical conductivity is basically the measure of salinity of the soil. Okay, And EC, it is being told as, it is being denoted as EC, electrical conductivity. Okay, and ESP is again a factor, is again a criteria on the basis of which we can classify the types of soil. In the next class we can also see how can we classify on the soil on the basis of ESP, on the basis of EC. How can we say that the soil is too saline or normally saline or highly saline on the basis of these things. On the basis of our four factors, saline soils are divided to following three classes, that is soil, saline soil, sodic soil, and saline sodic soil. Okay, then the saline soils are what? Uh, the saline soil is a soil containing sufficient amount of soluble salts that hinder the germination and growth of most crop plants are called saline or third soil. Avoid in this type of, basically in this type of soil, a white salt incrustation is present on soil surface, which is known as white alkali soil. Sometimes you might have found this type of soil somewhere in your region, or especially that is being exposed in Karachi University. Okay, in the field area, in that the open area where there is only soil or some vegetation is exposed there, you can find the type of soil, white alkali soil, the white salt incrustation you can easily found there. Electrical conductivity of saturation extract of 4 or greater. Saturation extract is what sometimes is this saturation extract is being made in the laboratory. How we do basically take a known sample of soil and we immerse that soil in water. Okay, we pour some amount of water in it, and after some period of time, that is nearly 24 hours. Okay, then we just get out the saturation extract of that soil, and then we just measure the electrical conductivity by the special instrument of TDS, that is that is the instrument by which we can take out the readings, or electrical conductivity we can measure by a TDS meter. Okay, so ESP of less than 15 if it is coming, and pH is less than 8.5. That is the type of soil which is known as saline soil. So it means when the exchangeable sodium percentage is less than 15 and pH is less than 8.5 and electrical conductivity is 4 or greater. Okay, so that type of soil is known as saline soil. When someone asks you that what could be the electrical conductivity of saline soil, so you have to say that it should be 4 or greater than 4. So then that type of soil is known as saline soil. With respect to ESP, it could be 15 or it could be 15 or less than 15 or less than 8.5 pH is there, so always that soil will be saline soil. Chloride and sulfate are the principal anions are present in the saline soil. The saline soil is highly hygroscopic because of presence of calcium chloride and magnesium chloride absorb moisture, atmospheric moisture, and surface soil is moist of this type of soil. Okay, hygroscopic means the same thing. The saline soil can be reclaimed by adequate drainage and leaching with the soil. We have to provide water to the soil so that the amount of salinity can be reduced, can be absorbed and moved down. And you have to provide a special adequate drainage to that land. In this way, we can reclaim the saline soil. Sodic soil is the type of soil that contains sufficient exchangeable sodium ions which affect their properties and plant